So I made a video about fat people and you guys really seem to enjoy it, so we're doing another one. Also in the last one I said it was part 1 of 2, but the rest of the footage was crap, so we're going to restart on a new video. So first I want to clarify my position on fat people. I don't care if you're fat, just don't be annoying about it. Just don't be trying to say, oh, it's healthy or it should be encouraged or you're fat phobic if you're trying to work out. Other than that, we're chill. Alright, so again, we got a video from VS Comp. We're gonna watch, so we're gonna watch these TikToks and then talk about it later. So, here we go. What is that? No way, bro. Hold on. Dude, that's a thumbnail. Holy crud. Oh! Oh my goodness gracious.
Wild exercise? I choose this brownie. Such a workout.
Stop.
Thin privilege is a joke. If you're fat and unhappy about it, change yourself.
Facts.
Why don't you change yourself?
No.
Let's start there. Because the main reason people who are overweight are unhappy is because people like you shame them just for existing. They're not...
Whoa, hold on. We're not shaming anybody for existing. We're saying, hey bro, if you have this problem, here's a solution. Because we want to see your life get better. But then here you have people like this saying, no, there's no problem with you, it's with society, which keeps them in that victim mindset and makes their life utterly worse because they think, actually, you know what, I don't have to change. And guess what? Their life continues to suck because they refuse to change because they've been essentially brainwashed by like TikTok and stuff to believe there's nothing wrong with them at all.
The problem.
Great question. It's a privilege to have time to exercise. It's a privilege to have the ability to afford a gym membership. It's a privilege...
Okay, immediately right off the bat, if you're saying you don't have time to exercise, it's because you don't care about exercise enough to make time for it, because you're just lazy.
To be able to fit into gym machines. It's a privilege to know what to do in a gym. It's also...
Dude, bro, you don't need machines to work out or get fit. Just go outside, run, dude. Eat less food, drink more water. Like I said before, it's the same guidelines, really, for everybody just to get fit.
A privilege to live in the vicinity where a gym is.
I literally just said you don't need to be near a gym.
You saw one of my last videos, I talk about how gyms are built in certain affluent areas. It's a privilege to be able to get outside into a safe neighborhood and walk or jog. It's a privilege to be able-bodied enough to exercise. It's a privilege to be able to...
No, that's why you exercise, so that you can be able-bodied enough to do other things throughout your life.
To afford the right clothes to exercise in.
You don't need to buy workout clothes. I work out in the same stuff I wear every single day.
It's a privilege to be able to easily find clothes that fit you to exercise in. It's a privilege to not feel intimidated when walking into a gym. It's a privilege...
Dude, okay, that's another thing. People will be like, I don't go to this certain gym because I just feel intimidated. I'm like, dude, honestly, no one really cares about you in there. I'm not trying to be a jerk or whatever, but like, we're all doing our own thing. You're doing your own thing. You do you. We won't judge you. As long as you're not being stupid about it. So if you're over there slamming weights, yelling super loud, then yeah, we're probably going to judge you a little bit. There are some contexts where it's okay. If you're like maxing out on deadlift and you just hit something really big and it's like, whatever, fine. But yeah, don't be intimidated going to a gym.
To not feel like you shouldn't be somewhere just because of your size or your gender. And it's also...
Huh? What? I've never been into a gym where anyone has been judged because of their size or gender. I don't know where this chick lives, but
So we're privileged to have the time, the access, or the money.
She said money. You also don't need money. If you're trying to lose weight, go take a jog, run in place, something stupid. Like you can jumping jacks, bro. You can do jumping jacks in your room, lose weight. If you want to actually get buff, dude, do calisthenics for a while until you have enough money or resources to go lift actual weights. And really, like, you don't need a whole lot to actually get buff. Literally, you can just do calisthenics your whole life and be in really good shape. You probably won't be massive, but you'll be like really healthy if you have a good diet with it.
To cook so-called health foods. So yeah, it's a privilege.
Let's say that.
So-called health food. What does she mean by so-called health food? It kind of sounds like she's saying it doesn't exist, almost.
Fat person you're commenting on does have a binge eating disorder. Let's say they do overeat. Do you think your comment is going to help them out? Do you think it's going to be really helpful in their recovery? Do you think you're telling them something they haven't already heard? What kind of audacity does that take?
What is your favorite thing?
Oh, man. So, binge eating disorder is once again just a lack of discipline, as most of these excuses are. I get that's how some people cope, but there's better ways to cope. And I guarantee if someone starts exercising, we'll say guarantee. It's a fact that if someone starts exercising rather than binge eating, it's going to be a better way of coping, and it's going to lead to a better outcome. So I do think that commenting about that would help. As long as, obviously, once again, you're not being a jerk about it. But yeah.
That thin people do that's like quirky cute.
Being unwashed or just smelling bad in general.
What?
I was so furious when all the celebrities were like, I only bathe my children once a week, because it just reeks of thin privilege.
Okay, two things. Excuse me. I've never heard of the celebrity only bathing their child once a week, but if that's true, she's totally right, because that's disgusting. Second of all, thin privilege, dude, what is that? That's the same thing like, what do they say? Something in my last video about fat people. Darn it. I'm blanking, I don't remember what it was.
Fat liberation, which then got me.
No way, bro, just said fat liberation. I haven't heard that before, that's funny. But it was something just as goofy as that.
If you are ever in a public space and there is a distinct smell happening, 9 times out of 10, everyone will assume that that smell belongs to whoever the fattest person in the room is.
Huh?
There's
Well,
a time
hold on. Because 9 times out of 10, that's true.
where I was straight up in an elevator where I watched a thin woman like twist her whole body and rip and start giggling, and everyone in the elevator looked at me. It is just...
I mean, well, yeah, because the gas started orbiting around you. They thought, oh my goodness, Jupiter Part 2.
Just assumed that fat people smell, and that's not true. And then when thin people...
Well, I mean, smell is really, it's person-to-person basis, but, you know, if you're fat, typically that shows a lack of discipline, so they're probably just going to assume that, like, oh, you're fat, so you don't take care of yourself. It's probably you who smells bad, which, you know, that's kind of a little bit messed up, but it's kind of a natural reaction.
people are caught as like the source of the smell, it's always like, oh, I'm getting in touch with my body. I'm trying to be a little bit more
Wait, hold on.
natural. I forgot to wear deodorant today.
So isn't the whole getting in touch with your body thing the entire thing that the fatphobia people are about? And yeah, I've never heard someone say, oh, I just smell bad because I'm getting in touch with my body. I'm sure someone has. She's probably right about that. But no, that's goofy.
But if like a fat person forgets to wear deodorant one day, it's a reflection of our entire existence.
Say it again. Fat girls with skinny faces have privilege.
100%. I completely agree with this. As a plus size model, I've been on both sides of the...
Dude, friendly fire, bro. How you gonna say fat acceptance, but then you're not accepting the fat people with skinny faces? Goofy, bro.
spectrum. In January, I got diagnosed with a really rare blood disease, and they are treating it with prednisone. One of the things is prednisone, and it's making me have a bunch of water retention. So now I have this, and I have indentions here from my
There's no way all of that is from water retention. I call major bull.
cheeks being puffy, and my eyelids are swollen a lot. And so I have noticed that there are some companies and brands that only deal with plus size models that have really thin faces. Now, on top of that, I've had a bunch of other smaller brands and companies reach out to me for me to start modeling for them because now I look more plus size. Whereas before, I guess it was kind of a toss.
No, I can tell you immediately right now, it is not because of the medication that you look more plus size. You were like that before. It's not because of the meds. You're tweaking, bro.
I'm still a size 26 either way. But yeah, it's weird.
Y'all remember when people got upset that I put 3 scrambled eggs instead of 2 into my breakfast hash that I ate? And people went wild about it? Thin privilege, fat phobia, you're welcome.
No. Here's the reality, okay? Here's what actually happened. That chick is an attractive chick on TikTok, and so immediately she got views and likes by some teenager that thinks that they'll get recognized by her someday, and they get married or some crap, okay? The problem is with soy boys, not you putting 2 or 3 scrambled eggs in your meal. Also, I want to point out, the chick on the right here is not very healthy either. In this context, I guess you could say the fat chick is sort of right. Yeah, that's that.
Let's talk about thin privilege, since you seem to think it doesn't exist. Thin privilege is posting a dance video on this app and not getting a bunch of comments about how you should exercise more or change your diet.
I think everybody should exercise more and change their diet, personally, if they're not already doing so. I know for a fact I need to work on my diet. It's not very well. But yeah, exercising should be a thing that everyone's involved in, and their diet. Whether you're thin or average or fat or whatever.
Thin privilege is sitting down on a bus or an airplane and not being afraid that you're not going to fit into the seat.
I don't even get that one, bro. How are you gonna basically put the blame on the business? They're literally, all they're trying to do is transport person from point A to point B, and then they're like, oh my goodness, you're being fat phobia for making the seat an average size for everyone else that everyone else can fit in because they're not 2 tons.
Thin privilege is walking into a clothing store and knowing that you will physically fit inside of the clothing. Thin privilege is going out in public and being able to eat and not be criticized by passersby for eating.
Dude, stop being so paranoid. Dude, why does everyone always assume in stuff like this that people are obsessed with them because they're fat? It's like they want attention, or they want to be like praised in a way, so they're tricking themselves into thinking that everybody's looking at them and judging them. And it's like, no, honestly, no one really cares about you. Sorry.
Thin privilege is a very real and harmful thing that we all have to work to combat. And that starts with not using fat as a derogatory term.
I will use fat as a derogatory term until the day I die, sir.
Emily Mariko has recently posted some videos of her going to In-N-Out to get fast food. And I was really curious what the comment section would look like on her videos. But to my surprise, after scrolling through hundreds of comments, I couldn't find anyone saying anything negative about what she was eating. In fact, people were praising her for normalizing eating fast food and helping them with their eating disorders. Now bear in mind, Emily Mariko is very thin. A few days before I saw that video, I had posted a video of me eating out at Burger King, explaining that you can go out to a fast food restaurant while you're on a weight loss journey and still lose weight. As long as you're eating in moderation, it's fine. And keep in mind, I am not thin. People lost their in my comment section. And people say thin privilege isn't real.
It's not.
Let's talk about thin privilege.
No way.
Thin privilege is defined as the power and advantages systematically accorded to people with thinner and smaller bodies.
She made that up,
Some examples of thin privilege include not being denied medical care because of your weight, airlines not charging you more money.
The only reason you're denied medical care is because you are actually a hazard to the company, because they might not be able to provide something for you because you're so insanely massive that they could lose money trying to help you. That's a you thing, bro. Sorry, deal with it.
To fly, and being more likely to get a raise or promotion than your fat counterparts. As
That's
well
cool.
as everyday seemingly mundane things like being able to comfortably fit into public transit seats and even hospital gowns. A lot of people have argued,
Dude, lose weight, bro. The world doesn't revolve around... Actually, you might have your own orbit if you're big enough. But the world... sorry. The world doesn't revolve around you. Stop acting like it does. No one cares that you can't fit into a seat. Grow up, stop being a baby, get out of the victim mentality, fix your diet, and shut up.
that thin privilege isn't real because thin people have also experienced body shaming for being too thin and have body image issues like everybody else. But as Christy Harrison beautifully put, having thin privilege doesn't mean that you've never had any body image issues or that you've never struggled with disordered eating or that you've never been bullied or shamed by people for your size. Fat phobia goes beyond bullying. It includes being dehumanized and systematically ignored and discriminated against in healthcare,
what do you mean systematically ignored?
You name it. As a small...
Give me an example of a fat person being systematically ignored, bro. Because everywhere you look on social media and then news and fashion companies and stuff, they're all embracing the overweight people. Where are you systematically... I forgot the word she used, but yeah, where are you that?
Fat who is also white, I experience both thin privilege and white privilege. Therefore, even though I may get some rude messages or comments about my body, I'm still seen as a more acceptable level of fat than someone, for instance.
Well, yeah, because you don't look like you don't weigh 300 pounds, dude. Like, yeah, you can tell you might have a little overweight issue, but like, whatever. It's not crazy. Obviously, it needs work because we all need work. I need work. But yeah, you're not like insanely large, okay? So yeah, we're not gonna point it out as much, I guess.
Who's a mid-fat or super fat. And if you don't know what mid-fat or super fat means, here is a helpful infographic of the fatness.
Infinifat. Dude, that's hilarious. I'm gonna steal that term. Very difficult to find anything that fits, even online. Often require custom sizing. Interesting.
Or super fat means here is a helpful infographic of the fatness spectrum. Of course, as with everything, intersectionality is super important. Somebody like me, who's a white small fat, will have a vastly different experience than someone who is both black and a super fat, and vice versa.
Why are you bringing race into it, dude? Like, that's goofy. I don't get that. I don't get how they group, like, one issue into another issue, and as if they're, like, we're all just supposed to know that they go together, and then they don't elaborate. Like, what do you mean, bro? It confuses me.
The experiences we have are completely different, as well as the way we are perceived and treated in the world. And I absolutely benefit from thin privilege. I know that as a size 16, I can go to the doctor and I'm more likely to have my symptoms taken seriously.
Uh-oh. Did my camera die? Oh, nope, we're good. Okay.
Can semi-comfortably fit in an airplane seat, and I know that I have the benefit.
Hold on, nobody is going to comfortably fit in an airplane seat unless you got first class.
Of living in a white society where I have never experienced racism.
Spend most of my life living in Caucasian paradise.
The treatment of fat people gets worse once you consider things like size, race, gender, and income. And privilege highlights...
What? Dude, she keeps grouping multiple things into one thing as if they're all part of the same and then refusing to elaborate.
Disparity in the treatment between fat people and non-fat people.
Or not refusing to elaborate, because no one really pressed her to, but she's just not elaborating.
And because people usually get really angry whenever thin privilege or privilege in general is mentioned, this is not an attack on thin people. This is a critique of the fat phobia that's embedded within society and how fat phobia pervades life in seemingly trivial, mundane ways. Take some time to think about how you might benefit from or be harmed by thin privilege, and how you might perpetuate fat phobia in your daily life.
Talk about thin privilege.
How I might perpetuate it? I'm doing that right now, actually, by making this video. And you know what? I'm having a really good time. I'm probably going to think about it even more. Thank you for that suggestion.
And this is a really good example. So I am making my breakfast, and I have a piece of pizza from Domino's left that I didn't finish last night, and it sounded really good, so I'm eating it. Because I exist in a smaller body, you're probably like, wow, good for her. Like, she has food free.
Did she just say she exists in a smaller body, dude? That's a weird way to say you're closer to fit. She doesn't really look fit, but that's...
She doesn't restrict herself. She doesn't say pizza's only a dinner food, things like that. But now I want you to think, if I was in a bigger body, would you still be thinking the same things? Would you still say good for her? Or would you say...
No. I think it's gross that anybody at all is eating pizza in the morning, dude. One of my buddies did that, and I was just utterly disgusted, bro. Like, especially, like, Domino's. Like, if it were high-quality pizza, maybe I get it. Still whack. But, Yeah, no, I don't care what body size you are. Pizza for breakfast is weird.
Hey, are you sure you want to eat that? Something to think about.
What it's like shopping in the mall as a plus size person. They don't carry my size. They don't carry my size.
Skill issue.
They also don't carry my size.
Okay.
I can't shop here. Nothing in my size here, or here, or here. Guys, do you remember that?
No one cares, really. I mean, like, shop somewhere else. We have the internet now. Literally, like, 3 clicks on this bad boy, and you can find basically anything. Not anything, but like a lot of stuff. Clothes, you're definitely going to be able to find on there. Please stop posting about that. Nobody really cares. I care because I want views. But, yeah.
Time when I posted an almost identical video to this, but I was told that I should avoid potatoes. I was given unwanted and unsolicited.
You should not avoid potatoes. Potatoes are yummy. They're not super unhealthy. Sweet potatoes are a better option, but you know.
Health advice when I was minding my own business, just making a cooking video, but I was told that I need.
Dude, if you're so offended, I gotta screenshot that. That's funny. If you're so offended, get off the internet. There's gonna be idiots like that anywhere. Anyone who has Instagram and has gone to a comment section of like an African American dude, you know that there's some whack stuff on there, bro. So if you don't like it, just get off the internet.
Needed to avoid potatoes. Do you remember that? Do you remember how fat people and thin people are not allowed to exist in the same way on the internet? You remember that? Again, no hate to this guy. I have no issue with him, and I don't hate him. I'm also not mad at him either. I am using his video as an example to compare how thin people and fat people are not treated the same
That guy's not like really thin. He's more built than thin. I wouldn't say thin.
way. So.
Oh my god.
Oh!
Hauling my big butt around on this couch.
What is this?
How cute is that?
Not.
How cute.
Literally Jabba the Hutt, dude.
Yeah, this would not work as a thigh high.
Look at her arm.
There's not enough. Not enough. However, if they did make a bigger one day, for the super, super big thighs, 100% would buy.
What is this? Alright, well, thanks VSCom for that video, I guess. I think that I need to go for a walk now after seeing that and see what God intended stuff to look like. Be in nature for a second. That's horrible. Anyway. I don't even know how to end the video. Bye.